Alright, so today I'm going to be cooking spaghetti marinara. Step 1. First, you're going to be doing some vegetable prepping, which means dicing the onions and smashing the garlic. So what you're going to want to do first is inspect your paring knife for bits of avocado near the handle that weren't properly washed off, and then begrudgingly wash the knife again. Now for the actual cutting. The proper way is to cut the root and the top bit of the onion to not only create a flat surface, but also further creating an opening so as to peel the outer layer of the onion off. This may be difficult if, like myself, your knife is dull and requires more sawing and more effort to slice into the onion. Discard the onion bits or save them for later, for compost or soup stock or, whatever. Step 1.42. Notice that one of your dogs is not inside its allocated pen. Proceed to close the pen, and then place the animal back inside its enclosure. Wash your hands because goodness knows where that dog's been, and resume with the onion dicing. Step 1.66. To properly dice an onion, first cut it in half, being sure to lay it on the flat surface created earlier, and then partially cut through the halves, leaving some small connection at the end. Then lay like so, and cut horizontal strips. To ensure that you don't accidentally cut your fingertips off, curl your fingers inwards so as to expose your joints instead. This also helps you keep a grip on the onion as it's being braced against the cutting board. Then take notice that your dog has escaped once again, and decide that an animal that dead set on getting out might as well be let free to roam the house. And also you can't be bothered to do anything about it. Continue chopping the onion, this time vertically. Note, when cutting onions, you may begin to feel a stinging sensation in your eyes and perhaps tears clouding your vision. These are not indeed tears of deep-seated repressed emotions, but simply a chemical process in which the gases released from the onion whilst chopping irritate our sensitive human eyes. But regardless, push back those tears and suck it up. Step 1.78. Next up is the garlic. Now I will be attempting a so-called life hack way of removing the cloves from their skin, and thus need some kind of container. After struggling far too much to remove the garlic from their larger cluster, place the cloves into the container and shake it as though you were James Bond's bartender. Despite the amount of effort made, much like many of the internet's so-called life hacks, the results were nothing but lackluster. Deciding to do the rest of the work manually, continue to peel the garlic. Step 1.99. Now that the garlic is peeled, simply crush the cloves with the side of your knife to release the flavor, and don't cut yourself in the process. Step 2. With the preparation work done, now is the time to assemble the proper measuring spoons, pot, and ingredients. Take 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil and add to the pot. If you can't find it at your local supermarket, ask a Fortnite player. They'll probably know where to find some. Add 2 teaspoons of what I swear is completely regular oregano,
Oh wow.
And then sift through your drawers for a wooden spoon, only to be met with several decoys of other wooden utensils.
Really?
Then only to find it among the clean dishes.
Again with this?
Then add your canned tomatoes to the pot. As well as turning on the stove to a medium-high heat. Add your onions and garlic. Stir, and wait for the mixture to heat up. Once the mixture is practically boiling, consult the recipe only to see that it says to simmer for
45 minutes?
Yes, 45 minutes. Be sure to reduce the heat and set a timer. While you wait for the sauce to simmer, take this time to educate yourself in the Italian language.
Il ragazzo.
Il ragazzo.
La donna.
La donna.
To count to 10 in Italian, you will say 1, uno,
Uno,
2, due,
due,
3, 3,
tre,
4, 4,
quattro,
5, 5,
cinque,
6,
sei,
7,
sette,
8,
otto,
9,
9,
10. And
10.
that's how you count to 10 in Italian.
Now you can't see my face as it's below the camera, but rest assured that I am indeed wearing a fake mustache to bring out the probably 6% of Italian in my blood in hopes of enhancing this dish. Passaggio 3.14. As the sauce has been simmering for about 15 minutes or so, stir the mixture and attempt to crush the tomatoes with a wooden spoon, before then eventually pulling out a potato masher. Soon realizing that neither method will work or prompt the desired response, abandon the task completely and decide on using a blender later on. Passaggio 3.41. Scour through your cabinets for a pot large enough to cook the spaghetti. Find no such pot, and then settle on a saucepan. Fill the pan with water, and then place it on the stove to boil. Notice that one of your burners is smoking,
Oh no.
probably because of some bit of food stuck on the inside, and quickly turn on the overhead fans to dispel any triggers of the smoke detector. Now that the unknown substance is finished burning, place the pan on the burner again and wait for it to boil. Passaggio 3.67. Now that the water has reached a rolling boil, add a copious amount of salt to not only season the noodles but to help them not stick together while cooking. To get the proper serving size, simply match the diameter of a quarter to the diameter of a bundle of dry spaghetti. Or if you don't have any coins on hand, take 2 ounces of water, which is 1/4 cup, and compare it to the weight of the spaghetti. Now, given water's density properties, its weight is equal to its volume, or if you can't be bothered to follow restrictions of serving sizes, just dump the whole box in a la ratatouille. Now, of course, you could always break the noodles in half to fit in the pan, but such an act would be sacrilegious among Italian pasta makers, so settle for slowly forcing the noodles to be submerged into the water, and probably overcrowding the pan. But regardless, stirring occasionally, leave the noodles to cook on a high temperature. Passaggio 4. There are plenty of ways to tell a pasta is fully cooked. Usually following the directions of the box will result with the perfect al dente texture. But other methods do exist, such as cutting a noodle down its middle and looking for a paler inside that would indicate that it isn't fully cooked through. Now, a more entertaining method is to fling the noodle against a nearby wall. If it sticks...
Try that.
I said if it sticks,
Huh.
it's cooked. Otherwise, it needs more time. Although the best way to tell is through taste, which is why I'll employ the help of my dog, whose heightened senses shall be a true testament to the noodle's perfection.
What is it, a snake? It's a noodle. What do you think?
Okay, you know what? Maybe I'm overestimating my dog's abilities.
Yeah, this is hot.
Perhaps I should just
Okay.
check it for myself.
Okay.
And try not to burn anything in the process.
No. Okay, thank God. Huh. Here, let's try this. Come on. Lady and the Tramp. And... What did you think? That it?
Passaggio 4.2. As the noodles are fully cooked, drain the excess water in a colander, or if you're like me, carefully with a wooden fork. Set the spaghetti aside, and now that the sauce is more or less done simmering, season to taste. If you want a thicker sauce, leave it simmering for longer to let the water evaporate, or add water for a thinner one. If you're sufficed with the current consistency of the sauce, feel no need to place the contents of the pot into a blender.
Oh, goodness.
Otherwise, blend the sauce to the desired smoothness. Be wary of the temperature of the contents and proceed with caution. This would be the time where if you wanted to make the sauce heartier or with more protein, you could always add a ground meat of your choice or cooked lentils.
Perfection.
Passaggio 4.7. As the spaghetti and the marinara are both complete, it is time to make them into spaghetti marinara. To do so, place the noodles back onto a low heat and add a bit of olive oil to enhance the flavors. Add the desired amount of sauce and mix. Passaggio 5. Time to plate and garnish the dish. Taking a bowl from your cupboard, pour the spaghetti marinara unceremoniously in and get the Parmesan cheese out of the fridge. Only to then find a colony of mold inhabiting the container of cheese.
Can I? Do I want to risk it?
Upon further inspection and deliberation on what to make of the cultured milk, discard it into the trash. Finding no other sources of Parmesan cheese in your refrigerator, settle for the next best thing, feta cheese. Now that your meal is properly garnished, it is time to dine in the company of your pets.
That's not a no, it's no, stop.
Okay, peace out.